I love you. And I know who you are. You are the conceiver of the word, if you will be it, conceiving you in you to nurture you and grow you up, to birth you, the new you. Are you willing to conceive the word and become a new creation? A new creation in truth. The new creation of truth. Will you birth it? Will you come to the new birth? Will you come to the explosion of me all over this earth? In terms unknown and not unknown. But your very breath speaking the terms of the Christ, the anointed, the common people. The common people will know this message now and understand it, not just a mental concept of. The new birth becomes real. The new birth becomes reality, birthing the truth of reality that supersedes the visible empirical that we seem to now live in. So you see, this is good news. And my feet are beautiful because you don't need to remain in flesh. Not in flesh limited to it, that is. And it's not like we've been taught. You see, the Christ stories, at least the words in red, the original meaning, all portrayed the stories about you. About you, my friend. About you, woman, man. You see, the truth of truth, not just apparent truth, not just rational truth, not just logical truth, not just religious truth, but the truth of a love that has never been known like this now comes over the earth to include even you. Even you. A man with a womb. Will you not be hung up on gender anymore? Will you fealty no more due to the possession of your faith that you want to conform you to it that someone else gave you? Are you willing to see a new conscious Christ on the earth and it be you? This story is about you. I'm sitting here for this story to come alive in you as the seed. As the seed of truth in your consciousness. And you can boot it about, you can abort it, you can ignore it. And you can take your life to death and present your grace, beauty, and power to a myth, to a false God, to an intermediary, an iteration of God, the offspring of God that over eons created many offspring of God, for God is a creation of many. But you see, some just want to use their word for power, control, greed, self-aggrandizement, pompous arrogance. So many. That's what we've been taught from many a pulpit, from many a lectern, from many a teacher, many a professor. They so willingly want to paint pictures of success and what you need to do to get ahead in this world. Like this world is your life and there's no other. My friend, you are immortal, graceful, and beautiful. No matter whether you are man, woman, or a hybrid, a mixture, or even if you don't know what you are. It's okay. I come to you this day with the good news. I come with the seed. I come with the word. Remember Jesus' parable? The fig tree. The seed is the word. And it's time for you to understand. You now surrender to be the virgin. The virgin that conceives the word. How do you conceive the word? You receive the seed of this word into your consciousness, that you are the creator of you. You see, that's why I use this picture at the beginning of this video. You see, the conception of Christ, the conception of God, the conception of the new birth is real, but it's been made so powerless. It's been made of no effect. It's been made of man's mind. But I assure you it's real. Jesus was the firstborn. Don't you remember what's called the glorification? And then later came, after death, the resurrection. But if you become born again, if you deliver the seed, if you will conceive the word and birth you anew to be a new you, in flesh not limited to it, a new creation that's not limited to the DNA of man, you will do the things that Jesus did and more. And see, we haven't known this. We haven't understood this. We've been continually educated to dumb ourselves down to be at the level of the logic of man. Thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, people who wrote the Nicene Creed, people who espoused Christianity all sorts of religions and bash each other, deny each other their power, beauty, and the power of each other's love? The seed of love, the seed of truth, the seed of truth creates the child of promise, the promised child. Are you willing to become the promised child? The child of promise, the Messiah, that would heal your land? You who think you're just a clerk somewhere, you're devalued, you're debased, you're abused, and you abuse you. You allow all sorts of thoughts to infest you, and you live in hell with grief, torment, a mind that you only want to ingest other substances to numb for a little while, to have peace. No matter what you look like on the outside, no matter how beautiful your body is in the eyes of other people, or how ugly, that matters not. I share with you this day, the true you, the real you, is not limited. And beginning to understand the story, we no longer keep ourselves out of the story. We no longer bar ourselves from the power of the kingdom of heaven, of reality, of limitlessness, of the quantum world. We no longer put everything in religious terms. We no longer see Jesus as the only Son, and you are to worship him because he did everything for you. My friend, that is heresy, blasphemy. You see, it's all upside down. Religion determined to control the story in order to control people. Control is at the root. It's not money. Money is not the root of all evil. Control is. And even below that may be ignorance. Ignorance of who we are. Ignorance that we are the original. Before this earth existed, I am was I am. How else do you say it? The original source energy before any universe existed. That consisted of us. We were a unified consciousness of the Creator. We were source energy. And we created the cosmos. The unlimited cosmos was our playground. And we created planets. And being infinite in our power, we created people. There are many iterations of creation in many places. Just like, in one sense, we create people on earth, right? See the larger picture. See what's going on. See what's going on with advanced technology. See the robots. Robots being taught how to be programmed. Artificial intelligence How long is it before a human mind is stuck in a metal robot? Colonize the moon? Go to different planets? Is anything beyond our grasp? But this is not the power of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about power that nuclear power can't even touch. I'm talking about birthing the seed of truth and educating it, nurturing it as a mother who loves their children. Bringing to the birth, not just air, not just pain, but a new creation. You see, it's a spiritual birth, but it certainly doesn't happen with a little prayer. It's not instantaneous. This is not like fast food offering, instantaneous magic. No, my friend, you grow it. You grow the seed of truth if you want to become born again into being a new creation that is not limited to this life, is not designed by religion, is not constricted to your belief system nor your books. Truth supersedes all that. The truth of truth, the truth of love. The seed of the real you is still within you. That spark of life that never ends. So the question is, are you willing? Are you willing to be the virgin? The virgin. Are you willing to lay aside all the words that have been spoken over you and that you have spoken over people and that you have been hurt with so many times and hurt others? And all given images of the Christ, images of God, images of whatever you want to call God or anything else. They've been given images, icons. And even the words we use have definitions that use other words. A word is simply an algorithm. It can be reduced to dots and dashes like Morse code. It can be projected and received. It can be encrypted. The mind does strange things to itself, you know. This is the message of the virgin, who the angel came to. I come to you this day with this message. Am I an angel? I'm an old guy in Eureka Springs with the message of truth that you don't just accept to become it, and you don't worship it to become it. All the worship of God goes bye-bye when you're willing to know the truth. We were never meant to worship what we are. We were never designed to do fealty, obeisance to a Lord God. My friend, I suggest you think it not robbery to be equal with God and begin to see your heritage, your lineage, and what you can learn straight from source. Whether you call it God, whether you call it Ralph, Betty, or Sue. Because the heart, not your blood pumping muscle, but the center of your command center The command center of your consciousness is not limited by your auditory words. The projection of an energy that makes little squiggles, waves, projected and decoded. See, there's more to the story, my friend. When you begin to receive the word of truth, you can shun it and believe what you want to because you're the creator of you. And quit thinking, please, that that's arrogant. I suggest to you, it's only in humility that we can come to truth. We come as a little child, and we begin to ask questions and cultivate our curiosity, knowing that if we ask for a fish, will love give us a stone? Will love give us a list of rules? A list of commandments? Will love set up a carrot and stick? Heaven and hell? To control us? Love does not do that. Love does not beat us. Love does not control us. And if another person, if you're under their control and they want to control you, I encourage you to consider exiting. But not without wisdom. There's a way to do things. When you begin to come out of the control of man, when you begin to come out of the control of your husband or your wife, when you decide to come out of the sandbox of religion, sitting in on a pew, listening to a 3-point sermon or some anointed Holy Ghost sermon with a lot of emotion or a great deal of eloquence that's very persuasive, there's a way to do it. But it's costly. It's costly to know truth. It takes time. Because you're dealing with the Garden of Eden. Every day you exist in the Garden of Eden. Who are you walking with? Who are you talking with? What voices are you listening to? On the radio, on the internet, on the TV? Who's designing you by their words? Who's controlling you? The news? The preachers? The word is the seed. And if you think, if you believe it is appointed unto you once to die and then the judgment, you refused the seed of truth. But see, I'm not asking you just to go on my word. I'm asking you to come as a little child, to become humble enough to go get silent and realize original source energy. Before religion entered this world, or the concept of God, original source energy will communicate with you and literally flow in you in a manner of love that communes and communicates and teaches you these things. And you begin to experience them. And day by day, that manna, that daily manna, that experience of that teaching of original source energy, source of truth, source of love, that doesn't separate you from it, that tells you you're family. your family. You're not limited to the scope of your breath that creates separation. You're not limited to the religious stories. You're not really limited at all. And you can recreate yourself if you want to. If you're willing to nurture the truth within you that you begin to write each day, that literally creates a new consciousness. A consciousness that can be described as the conception of a child within you, the conception of the Christ child, the conception of the Messiah, the conception of the real you. And you nurture it. And this nurturing process actually changes your physical DNA. It changes what neurons are connected to each other. It changes the wiring of your physical mind. Because the power is not what we're trying to tap into to use. The power we're beginning to realize in humility that can only be grown in humility is the power of the original creation before creation existed as we know it. Before this world began, we were I am. And I am is not coming to redeem you. I am never left. We corrupted ourselves with our own thinking because we wanted to think with free will. We wanted to smell the roses and do our own thing. We wanted to hide our own thought. And we wanted to rape each other's power and bodies and purses and accumulate wealth. My friend, will you become the Virgin Mary? In your mind? It's a picture. It's a story that applies to you, men too. Men, will you no longer reject having a womb? The womb of the consciousness of the Creator. The Creator, the seed of truth. The seed is the Word. You grow up the Word. You nurture it. It takes time, effort, energy, devotion. And it's not easy. It's not instant. Then there's a price. There's a cost. It cost you to come to the birth and birth it. It's the most costly thing of all. To experience the new birth, to birth you, the new you, recreating you in this new beginning, you begin to see and create the new as you begin to relinquish your control of the past. So that the power, the power that you project through your eyes to perceive the tangible you no longer controls you. And you begin to see this image to you that you wear. And you begin to see this is not the real. The tangible reality of molecular 3D, the visible empirical world, is not the real world, my friend. There's a greater reality. and you don't enter it after you die. If you want to enter your promised land, if you want to enter heaven, you begin to see the allegory. It's not a fable that's untrue or doesn't exist. It's an allegory. The story depicts the process we all go through. And it takes time, effort, and energy. There's a scholastic rigor to it. It's a school of life, school of growing up, school of receiving the word, the living word, not the Bible. The Bible has been so misconstrued, so misunderstood, and words changed in it thousands and thousands and thousands of times in different translations, and the way people have preached it, the way people have rewritten it. You can study and find that out for yourself if you do your own due diligence, if you learn what due diligence is, and quit being a child in the pew of another that doesn't know who you are. This power that I speak of, my friend, is here. It never left. But now consciousness arises. Consciousness arises to create. The intention of creation. Humbly. Not with the intent to tap into it. When anybody uses the terminology about tapping into this, they don't know what I know. When you begin to experience original source love, for me, there's no desire to control it. Any thought of using it for my personal benefit is non-existent. I only have one response, and that is to open me up and surrender. To be it. Because that's its greatest delight and desire, for us to come home, to be it. Integrated, returned, the prodigal returned. This is if we enter. We enter by creating our creation again. This is what the new birth is all about. It's not about somebody else that did something for us so you don't have to. This is where you lay down your life before you die, so you never experience a second death. You begin to see that you resurrect you, and the power of the resurrection to raise you, to arise, to birth you as a new creation is yours, and nobody can take it from you. He can only give you words. The word is the seed. Are you growing heaven in you or hell? Are you growing the new birth? Are you willing to heal you, heal people? Are you willing to forgive them? Are you willing to be who you really are? Will you conceive you, the seed of the new birth, and birth you into the new beginning? Well, I love you because I know what you really are. And it doesn't matter what you think you are when you put on your clothes or take them off. Doesn't matter how many acronyms you use. It doesn't matter what gender you claim. It doesn't matter. There's so many things that don't matter. Let not religion control you again. Don't let religion control us. I'm standing in the gap for you, whatever that means. Or am I Noah, building an ark, not of faith? Or am I an old guy who walks the streets of Eureka Springs with a message that says, you are the creator of you. The greatest lie of all is that someone else created you, something else created you, and that you are in separation. That's the starting point of Christianity. I'm no longer a Christian. I was for decades. But I began to learn from truth. I began to learn from love. And love began to teach me. And I began to write. And I began to learn. And day by day, I would write on yellow tablet. So many times, sitting in that downtown Tulsa cathedral, I would write. I would write and write and write, just a scribe. I was perceiving some kind of energy. I didn't know what to call it, so I called it God. I didn't know how to describe the process other than to say I was receiving the first person words of God, and I was willing to write them. And they began to instruct me and teach me in the way that I could go if I so choose, because we all choose. Love will teach you. Love will nurture you. Love will teach love. Love will reproduce love. If you reproduce love. The seed grows as you grow it. The seed grows as you grow. If you don't give out love, don't expect it to grow in you, for you to contain it, for you to restrain it. The life of love doesn't operate with those values. The life of love reproduces love. Are you willing to give up your image of you and think it not strange how hard it is to learn love and let love teach you directly? Will you cultivate your curiosity, but will you not let your mind stymie you with questions unanswered? Will you see your beauty in your mirror? When you see, begin to look into your mirror and look into your eyes and see the very energy that dilates in all this operation. The energy that you are using to view yourself. That very energy is the energy of creation. And when you quit bashing yourself, when you quit designing you as a person of separation, anger, and unforgiveness, you begin to nurture a new reality in you as a seed. And that seed is born eventually. You don't take it to death. Please don't take it to death. Please don't die with the seed of truth in you. Enter the kingdom, the promised land, Again, see the allegory, see the pictures being given us, all the parables Jesus gave us. You see, this message, you think it will bring peace, or will it divide? Will it divide husbands and wives? Will it divide congregations? Will it blow up denominations? Let me tell you, it's not as been taught. Jesus was not passive. By any means. But it wasn't a violence of molecular means. It was simply the walking of love and humility to speak the truth. How did he heal people? He spoke. He didn't lay hands on people. There's no anointing that you don't have, my friend, if you will live love. The power of love anoints you if you will receive it this day, this way. As a child, the seed is the word, and you become pregnant with it. You intend to become pregnant with it. You choose to become pregnant with it, men. And you don't laugh. Please don't laugh about these things, because the feminine nature of divine original source energy becomes known. And it's a nurturing, unconditional love. When the prodigal returned, remember the story? The parent didn't say, "Boy, you sure made a mess of things. You took your inheritance, you went and squandered it, wound up in a pig pen." No. The parent did not berate the child. Because success, you see, is determined a different way, in a different world, a different reality that we are constructing, because we are reconstructing it. We are reconstructing our mind to no longer be against us. We are reconstructing the wiring, the physical manifestation to operate with intention. No, I don't want anything to do with the law of attraction that leaves me in a state of being molecular. This magnetic world goes bye-bye, because I stopped that force in me. And as I stop the magnetic force in me, my soul no longer controls me. I'm no longer controlled by the emotion nor the logic of what was programmed into my DNA. My friend, when you become born again, this physical body of flesh no longer restricts you. But you can walk in it. And you can do all the miracles that Jesus did and more. And that's how we heal the world. This is the Messiah. It's all of us becoming one. That was the intent, I suggest to you, when Jesus prayed in John 17, that we all might be one. Have you studied John 17? Do you study the words in red? Have you ever? Have you been a diligent student? Jesus said he wasn't from this world, and you aren't either. Go study it for yourself. Jesus said, "All the glory I have, I give to you." Ponder that one. Ponder it. Nurture it. You see, the seed is the word. And you, my friend, are not limited to the pain in your body. You're not limited to the grief of your soul. We begin to literally let go of those pain points. We literally begin to recreate us as people of light, the light people, the light people, the light people, a new race, the light people that need not words to communicate, because we didn't need words to communicate. Original source energy doesn't need waves to propagate our words. Our hearts are connected, not our blood pumping muscle. This is not my heart. This may be my molecular, physical, flesh heart, but my heart, the Garden of Eden, the garden of original creation, original consciousness is right here in us all. And that's what we were living, and that's what we are living now. Obeying no more the laws of an artificial reality, because we learn they can't control us. Even if we fall on our sword, it won't hurt us. Where's that found? Have you studied? We become a new people. My sword is truth. The sword of my tongue? No. The sword of my truth is non-molecular. I speak, I learn, I power my love with the power of me. Me and love become the same one. I'm asking you and love to become the same one and begin to understand your power, and that metal swords can never bend you to the will of truth. But we must birth. We must birth. And the birthing process is painful. I've talked over and over about the cost, the time, the effort, the energy. And my goodness, these last 5, 7 times I've come to you like this in these recordings of about an hour each, it sure seems like my message that I began, the way I began to write what I call the first person words of God 21 years ago, it's like there's a crescendo. Are we coming to the end? Are we creating a new beginning? You see, the old saying, what one man's trash is another man's treasure. I also remind you, Jesus said, a scribe, my friend, instructed in the kingdom that Jesus was talking about, is one who brings forth from the old and the new, both. You see, there's the Bible I draw from all the time. But I didn't get stuck in it. I didn't get stuck there. I learned how to let source energy teach me. And over the years, I've written thousands of documents. The first database, 2,400 lessons, organized into 7 volumes that contain and speak to this whole learning system to recreate you, that you recreate you. How do I know the things I know? I paid a price. I sat still. I devoted the hours. I changed my life. My income stream fell apart. So did several other things in my life. So you see, there's a cost. I don't know that anybody, any of my friends, family, I don't know that anybody understood when several years ago I started dressing as a woman. Because I became aware of the teaching of truth, that I have a womb. My womb is in here. And that I grow and that I deliver a baby, that I am called to deliver a baby. And I suggest you are too, if you will nurture it, the seed of truth. So I was playing out, I was walking out each day. I enjoyed lipstick. I enjoyed putting on earrings and wearing a dress. But no one understood. I can say it was part of my spiritual path. I certainly wasn't wanting to attract another person, man or woman, in any relationship. This is all about my heart, the feminine reproduction of me through my word. And boy, did I learn a lot about discrimination, hatred. I learned a lot. But that was part of me and what I did. Isaiah did a lot of things that you may not know if you learn. It's amazing. But I tell you, the truth is here. The truth is prevalent. The truth is preeminent. And as you begin to let the truth emanate through you, the power of genetical transformation takes place. And my friend, you become a new being that is not limited to this earth. That's what the new birth is. This is the message of Christ, certainly not the Christian message. I am not a Christian. They really messed it up. But my friend, if you are willing to know the real you and recreate you, if you're willing to listen to love and not put your Bible between you and God, or put any book or any belief system, if you don't constrict it, you can learn. You can learn to live love, and love will teach you directly. And that's my message, and my message is love this day. For you to conceive this seed, the seed of this message, the seed of the messages I have brought forth. In my life, well, I brought forth a lot of them. Writing, speaking, recording, 21 years. My friend, see the progression. See the seed growing. The seed must mature. Every day, the seed forms. Love nurtures love. Love feeds love. Love nurtures love. Love is the blood supply, the word, the source energy that you begin to learn to channel. And you begin to learn the difference between worshiping an intermediary that wants your worship versus original source energy that doesn't want your worship. But waits on us in the state of unconditional love to say, come home. Hey guys, bring the robe, bring a crown, bring the scepter. See the metaphor. Kill the fatted calf. See the metaphor. Come sit at table. Come sit at table. Come to the banquet, the feast banquet. What kind of banquet? The marriage feast. The feast. And what happens? Love says, sit at my right hand till I make your enemies your footstool. All the beliefs that kept you from being here. Beliefs. Not making people submit to you. Understand the message. Understand the picture, the metaphor, the power of love. Interpret it with love through the eyes of love that you begin to genetically form in your own perception. The marriage feast. And love says, sit at my right hand. Now go look at Psalm 110 and see what happens. Where you're not at the right hand of love. You're in the seat of love. You become it. I love you, my friend. I've said much. Don't miss it. You can't get it hearing it just one time. Time after time, day after day, after I recorded, after I wrote, I rewrote, I listened, I underlined, I connected key words, I laid out pages on my desk and drew lines everywhere, day after day, hour after hour, becoming what I am, who I am. And I'm an old guy in flesh, really a common, ordinary guy. But I see the light, and I see the light in you who are willing to see it as you, so that you don't defeat you, in the words of another, taking you to a grave. Birth the new you. And that's why I call this the school of me. When you see it, when you're in it, it's the school of you to become the real you, to become the seed and nurture the seed and learn to channel source love that nurtures a new reality, a new framework, a new terminology, a new understanding, creating a new consciousness where you begin to create your life anew. And the power of your creator is no longer separate. It's you. And you grow into this, and at some point, you will, my friend, begin doing the things Jesus did and more, becoming the unlimited you. Source love again that looks like you. I tell you, you're beautiful. I know what you look like underneath that flesh. Be encouraged. Be not denied your place at the table. The table. The feast table. The table of one where you enjoy not just the presence, you enjoy the flow of energy through you, birthing the new you. no longer bringing forth just air, no longer just talking about God, no longer just espousing principles of love and success, but becoming the power in your mind that love is, that is one with love, because you are that which I am is. I am. Redeeming I am. Your Redeemer's in your mirror. The Virgin Mary, the Christ, the seed, the judge of you is you. Judge you beautiful. Judge you worthy to receive that stream of energy, of original love, to be you in your mirror. And know that your eyes won't control you again, limiting you to what we've been told created us as separate. Create the creation you and live love. I love you. I go now. My name's Theodore. You can write me at Box 34 in Eureka Springs. You can write me at Box 34 in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, USA. You have the power of life and death in your tongue. You have the power of life and death in your consciousness to recreate you and quit damning you. Don't damn each other. Don't condemn each other. You first. See your love, light, and peace created this day. I'm Theodore Cottingham with the School of Me, inviting you to enter the school of you, that all may be one. theschoolofme.com. I love you. Share these words, live them, love them. Be the light. Light your path with the words. And let no stone hurt you. I love you. Good day. See ya. Thank you for listening to these words and subscribing. Subscribing to this YouTube channel, liking it, leaving comments, leaving questions, writing me, subscribing to the school on the website, if you choose. I love you. Adorn each other with love. Thanks. See ya.